What up, YouTube? How you guys doing today? It is Tuesday, and it's about 2 o'clock, and I have had a pretty good day. I'm already at 70 bucks for about 2.5 hours worth of work. Can't really complain about that, right? How about you guys? You guys doing good out there? Busy or slow? Because typically Tuesdays are pretty slow for me. Back in the day, or not back in the day, but for the longest time, DoorDash always did their updates on Tuesdays. So Tuesdays was always slow, and there was always problems with the app glitching out because of the updates going through and all that other kind of stuff. But I don't know if they do their updates on Tuesdays now, because it's a hit and miss. Sometimes Tuesdays are Tuesdays. I've had better Tuesdays than I've had Saturdays or Sundays on Sundays, which is kind of weird. But yeah. So have you guys heard DoorDash is implementing a new feature in some markets? It's not in all markets, but it is $2 base pay for longer delivery trips. And from what I'm seeing, it's for trips over 5 miles, which will work great in my market because that's about the average. I know in large markets and big cities, it's a lot of 2 and 3 mile orders. But here where I'm at in Central California, 5 miles is an average, you know. So it would be nice to get a $2 base pay increase. And what's weird is they're calling it into effect after a couple days of them lowering their base pay, because they've rolled out in the last few days across the country that people's base pay are getting lowered to $2, which ours have already been lowered to $2 for like I've said, April 17th. But it's starting to hit all the other markets now, and they're implementing it in all the markets slowly. So I'm pretty sure everybody's base pay sooner or later is going to get down to $2 on stacked orders and add-ons. But the $2 peak pay, which is funny that they're calling it peak pay, right? But $2 peak pay for miles that are, or deliveries that are longer than 5 miles, that's pretty good. But it's not going to make a difference if, you know, on a lot of their upside down orders, because DoorDash does have not as much as Uber Eats, man. Uber Eats seems like every other order is an upside down order. But with DoorDash, I mean, if you're only getting $8 for like 12, 14, 15 miles, it's nowhere near worth it, right? What's an extra $2? That's not going to make a difference. But on normal paying orders that people tip and stuff like that, yeah, it'll be nice to have that extra $2. But I know it's not going out across all the markets. It's only being tested in some markets. So if you guys are in that market where it's being tested, let me know where you guys are at. And on top of that, let me know what your guys' mileage is, because I don't know if it's going to be 5 miles throughout everybody, or if certain markets are going to be different, you know. Like maybe in my market, since the average order is about 5 miles, maybe they're going to bump it up to like peak pay, the extra $2 peak pay at 8 miles or something crazy like that. Which, you know, with us having such low base pay in my market, it is going to be nice to have extra, a little bit extra on there. It will help. It's funny how DoorDash will lower base pay on everybody, and then a couple days later add a $2 peak pay, which is done because I don't know if you guys know, but DoorDash, well, in my market, they're about $1 a mile is what their base pay is, up to about 8 miles or so. Anything over 8 miles, they cut it off. Once in a while, you'll get up to 10 miles, but lately I've noticed it's a lot of 8-mile stuff where it gets cut off at. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but either which way, that's where the market's going. Obviously, if DoorDash is testing this in markets, there's a 90% chance that sooner or later it's going to be implemented in. So I honestly, and this is just my opinion. I know, people's opinions are controversial and stuff like that, but in my opinion, I honestly think that with all the controversy between the button heads between DoorDash and the drivers and the customers about tips, and so many Dashers are hurting right now, at least in my market, I really think they should just do away with tips. Just get rid of tips. And they're already paying $1 base pay, so get rid of tips and add $1 to base pay and do $2 a mile. Because at $2 a mile, that's kind of what we all shoot for, right? Anything over $2 a mile is awesome, but $2 a mile, we'll all do pretty good at that rate, and that doesn't seem impossible. I mean, it really does sound doable. DoorDash would just have to get rid of the tips and add however they're going to do it in business wise, where they're going to add the costs at. I know customers are already getting charged a shitload of money just to use DoorDash, just to use the platform. And I'm pretty sure all the platforms are the same way. So, but I know like that's the number one problem. And no matter where you go, what market you're in, what state you're in, when Dashers talk about DoorDash, it's always about tips. Always the number one thing is about tips, and it's because people are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And I've noticed this just in the last 3 years. I used to make really good money, and I know everybody has, and I know times change and things happen, and that's just the cost of doing business, especially when you're self-contracted out to these companies the way we are. We just kind of have to roll with the punches. But I really do think that with all the chaos that's going on and all the pushback DoorDash is getting about the non-tippers, I think they should just get rid of the tips and implement just a $2 a mile base pay. And everybody, DoorDash wants all the Dashers to be on platinum, right? But that's never going to happen. I mean, if they end up rolling out the platinum program or the tier program in markets where Dash Now and Top Dasher and the old program is still, I mean, those guys got it. I mean, it's funny watching those guys on YouTube, because those guys got it good. They can still Dash Now and all that kind of other stuff. They can all cherry pick, and they have that mentality about cherry picking. And every time they comment on a tier program Dasher that has platinum, they always say how we're crazy because we take no tip orders and but the thing in my market, and I know other markets are different, but in my market in Central California, it is so hard to get on schedule that you have to be platinum. So it's not even a question about cherry picking. It's about just getting everything you can and denying the upside down orders, which are the really, really bad ones. Because I don't know any dashers. I don't know no dashers in my market that cherry pick. Because of scheduling, and that's all it has to do with. Because if it didn't have to do with scheduling, if guys were able to get full days worth of work on scheduling, most of them probably wouldn't cherry pick, or would cherry pick, to be honest with you. Because, you know, none of us like doing 10 deliveries a day and only making $40, and that's, I've seen some people with those kind of days, and it really does suck. So I don't know about, you know, DoorDash dropping base pay across the country, and they're implementing it into more and more markets. And just a couple days later, they said, well, hey, everybody, we know we lowered base pay, but now we're going to give you $2 peak pay. And it's not $2 peak pay per mile. It's anything over 5 miles. The screenshots that I've seen, it's anything over 5 miles gets a flat rate, a flat $2 peak pay rate. Which, you know, like I said, that'll help some dashers out there. Is that enough to make you guys as dashers and delivery drivers? Is that $2 more after cutting peak pay down, or base pay down to $2? Is that enough to make you guys happy? Is that enough to be like, okay, DoorDash is looking out for us? They're actually making steps in the right direction to take care of us dashers. Because I still don't. I really don't. I still deliver roughly the same amount of deliveries every day as I have for the last 3 years or so. I fall in between the slow days can be like 13, and the busy days can be like 20. But my pay is half of what it used to be for the same exact amount of deliveries. So I don't think DoorDash is looking out for their drivers, but DoorDash is a business too. And when it comes down to it, it's all about the CEOs making those big paychecks, and all the people in line or up in the high seats, they all keep getting those big paychecks. And if people are using less DoorDash because times are tough, it's going to affect those big paychecks, and those big paychecks still need to be paid even though there's less money coming in. So they got to start taking money from other places. In the first place they're going to take it from is you as a dasher, and that's just the bitter reality of it. So no, I don't really think that they're doing anything to really help out dashers, because, you know, an extra $2, anything over 5 miles, yeah, that'll be all right, you know, but it's not going to be enough to really affect your paycheck in a large way. And it definitely ain't going to do anything for scheduling, which out here we don't have Dash now, even with being on Platinum. So that's a huge deal. And I know I keep talking about that, but in my market here, it is a big deal. So tell me, like I asked, have you guys got it in your market yet? Are you guys seeing, is it more than $2? What's the mileage where it does kick in with you guys? Let me know in the comments, because I think DoorDash is trying to do some stuff to try to help out the dashers a little bit more, but it's not. They got to do more. They got to do better. But with that being said, I just want to talk to you guys about it, because like I said, I've seen screenshots and I've seen people talking about it, and I know it is happening because I saw it with my own eyes. And it hasn't kicked in here yet, where, you know, usually when they're trying trial stuff in new markets, my market is one of the markets that usually gets it first, and we haven't seen this yet. So if I do get it, I will screenshot it and I will show you guys, and I will talk to you guys about it. But as of now, it hasn't hit my market, so I've only seen other people talking about it. But with that being said, you guys have a good day, and until we meet again, peace.